Thanks to Michelle. I would like to welcome now Jeannine Donahue. She is the Lurie Cancer Center OncoSec Coordinator, Executive Coordinator at Inflammatory Breast Cancer International Consortium. Thank you.
Good afternoon. My name is Jeannine Donahue, and in 2007, 29 days before my 27th birthday, I underwent a double mastectomy. 6 months prior, I was told, after being misdiagnosed, that I had a rare and extremely aggressive form of cancer called inflammatory breast cancer, also known as IBC. I had a late-stage cancer that accounted for under 5% of all breast cancers, and it was a disease that lacked statistics and had hardly any research. I would like to briefly share a bit about my diagnosis with you, because IBC is commonly misdiagnosed, and due to its aggressive nature, this misdiagnosis often is deadly. Though I was misdiagnosed, I was extremely lucky, and it was caught in time. What is alarming that even today, 11 years later, IBC is still widely unknown, undocumented, and still lacks research. My journey started in 2007 around Christmas time. I noticed my left breast was slightly swollen, had a rash, and I was having sharp shooting pains. After going to my gynecologist, I was told I had a mammary duct infection and was given an antibiotic. When the antibiotic provided no improvement, I was sent off for a biopsy. The biopsy showed I had ductal carcinoma in situ, called DCIS, which is the most common form of non-invasive breast cancer. I had hoped that my worries would be quickly resolved with a surgical procedure. A little did I know everything was going to get very worse. After a second opinion, because the first surgeon refused to biopsy my rash, I learned my fate. I had inflammatory breast cancer. In fact, all the symptoms I had, breast swelling, sharp shooting pain, a rash, were all signs of inflammatory breast cancer. Unlike DCIS, IBC needs to be treated differently. It is treated with chemo first to shrink the tumor, then a mastectomy followed by radiation. Here I was in the prime of my life, a corporate accountant just starting my career, growing and learning about myself as a young adult. My eyes were wide with the possibilities of the future, and it just came crashing down in an instant. I was speechless. I had no family history of breast cancer and no signs of the typical gene mutations associated with breast cancer, which are BRCA1 and BRCA2. Yet I was diagnosed with late-stage inflammatory breast cancer. Without treatment, I was told I had 6 months to live. With treatment, my prognosis was also quite poor, likely only a few years. I felt hopeless, but was determined to take my chances. For 6 years, I underwent treatment for IBC. Treatment was grueling. After chemo, I was bald and had gray skin. All the surgeries left me feeling like I had been taken apart and pieced back together again. Radiation was exhausting and left me burnt to a crisp. Looking at myself in the mirror was like looking at my own corpse. Cancer stripped me of everything that I knew. And let me tell you, being a cancer patient and survivor isn't cheap. The financial burden can be just as torturous as the treatments. While I recognized I was lucky to be alive, I also mourned the person I was before IBC entered my vocabulary. And I realized that mentally I would carry facing my own mortality with me for the rest of my life. Now, 11 years after my initial diagnosis, I am healthy and can proudly state I have no evidence to disease. Thank you. Surviving IBC put me on a new path, one of advocacy, and would include stops on Capitol Hill to lobby for more research. It also led me to a physician who would become my mentor and boss. I now help run the precision medicine program at Northwestern here in Chicago, under my former IBC doctor, now boss, Dr. Massimo Cristofanelli. Our team of healthcare providers, researchers, and scientists focus on the uniqueness of each person and their cancer to provide a tailored treatment plan. Through my work with late-stage cancer patients, I have found a way to continue my fight against breast cancer. To me, research and precision medicine go hand in hand and are vital components in this fight against disease. This is just my story, my journey with a disease that now, 11 years, still lacks research. And I lack understanding of why I not only got IBC, but why I survived when so many others have not. We've all been touched in one way or another by an untreatable disease. It is a helpless and at times hopeless place to be. We've all asked why and how and what can I do? I stand here as proof of three things. There's always hope, there's always a way to fight, and research is vital for both. This is what is monumental about the All of Us program. It gives us the power to fight simply by sharing our genes, our data, to be the voice for those who can no longer speak. Together, we stand here almost 50 years after the signing of the National Cancer Act of 1971 that pushed for increased research in an effort to find a cure. Though we have come very far in our knowledge base, we still have a great deal to learn. This is due to the fact that we are also extraordinarily unique, which in turn makes our disease unique as well. No two cancer patients are the same. We could carry the same diagnosis, but how our cancer grows, why it grows, where it grows, at the rate at which it grows can be vastly different. This difference stems from many factors that include our genetics, what we get from our parents, genomics, how the genes in our body live and interact with each other, and epigenetics, how the world around us affects us on a cellular level. With all of these factors, you have a uniqueness as vast as the human race. I graduated college with a degree in accounting, but I joke I also have a PhD in cancer. I learned the language and the culture, and I became an advocate for myself. When my treatment ended, I became an advocate for those who have been taken from this earth as a result of cancer, and for those who unfortunately will one day face the journey of a cancer diagnosis. So why am I telling you all of this? Because within each of us, we hold a story. Individually unique, but when combined and compared, could have the power to become a tool in the prevention, detection, and treatment of disease. Not only do our voices have power, so do our genes. They are our unique blueprint. This blueprint holds the data that documents how we are designed. I leave you today with a call of action. Let us unite our blueprints to build a solid foundation of research that can be used to create a more precise, effective, and efficient way to detect, prevent, and treat disease. Let us learn from one another to create a path to better health for all. In the end, no matter whether you are touched by a disease personally or through a friend or a loved one, we are all in this together, and it will take all of us to fight back. To quote Helen Keller, "Alone we can do so little, together we can do so much." Thank you.
Story you have.